Hey, everybody, welcome back to Culture Critic. I'm your host, Nathan Nicholson. And today I want to talk about acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. So many people today go along, we're separated from our friends, if we have them, we're separated from our family. Social media is king in our lives. That's how we get our news, right? That's how we communicate with people. That's how we flirt with people. That's how we connect with people through a computer screen and through a phone screen. And nothing's wrong with that, but when we master that and don't master the social skills that are needed to actually interact with people, that's when we go wrong. And so today I want to be critical about acknowledgement. Acknowledgement, acknowledging the people that are around you. Why are we texting people that we're in the same household with? Why are we texting people when we're at dinner with people? When we're visiting someone? You ever been with someone and they're visiting with you, or you're visiting with them, and it's like your best friend or it's your cousin or somebody, and let's just say your friend's name is John, right? They're like, "Hey, John, what are you doing?" "Oh man, nothing. Just chilling. Just here with my best friend." Really? Um, Nothing? I thought we were sharing. I thought we were visiting. I thought we were spending time together. I thought we were interacting. I thought we were acknowledging each other's presence at this time. And so it's something that I endeavor to do, because even when I'm talking to my children and I have my phone, I try now to put my phone down and because I don't want them seeing. And you have to realize that they're lower than you, that they're shorter than you. So I don't want them seeing this as they're trying to talk to daddy. I don't want them seeing that as as I'm interacting with them. Acknowledge my presence. See me. Hear me. Empathize with me. Sympathize with me. You know, one of the things living in a big city like Chicago, you have people. The thing about Chicago is we've seen it all. We've heard it all. We've experienced it all, right? So things don't, everything doesn't impress us, right? But one thing we have to do better with, and I remember my friend Aaron Bailey was talked about this. When someone comes to your car, as long as you don't feel unsafe, as long as you don't feel like you're threatened, which in most cases that is not the case, which 99% of the time, acknowledge their presence. If somebody's asking for money, I know some people are out there gaming, some people's out there on the game, some people are out there, that's their job, right? But that's not the case. Consider if you were there. Consider if you were out there. Consider yourself. Acknowledge their presence. And so I think we go wrong when I remember, back when I was in Indiana, I remember this guy was asking people, asking people if they had spare change, and nobody would really look at him. And I stopped. I said, man, he said, first of all, man, thank you for stopping. Thank you for acknowledging me, because no one else stopped what they were doing. No one else even looked me in the eye. I said, man, if I had it, I would be able to share with you, but I don't have it today. And so, but if I had it, I would. I can't help you today. And he said, thank you. And we moved on. Acknowledgement. And, not only that, but acknowledgement is the minimum. Acknowledgement is the minimum that you owe a person who breathes the same air that you breathe, who has the same breath from Adam that came from God, that came to you from your parents and from your generations and from your ancestors. They deserve acknowledgement. Why are we ignoring people? Why don't we say good morning? Why don't we pass people and just give them a quick wave or a quick nod or a quick something? You know, have we become so consumed with what we're doing? Have we become so consumed with life, so consumed with our schedules, so consumed with social media, so consumed with what's in our hand that we can't take the time to acknowledge someone else and their presence and their humanity? Every black person has been on an elevator or has walked into a room or walked into a restaurant or walked past someone and said, hi. And it's usually a white person. I mean, let's just be frank. And they give you that smile is not enough for me. That's, if I have the meme, I'm going to put it on the screen. That smile is not enough for me. Acknowledge my presence. Do the minimum. Do the bare minimum. If I say hi, you say hi. What is that about? Do you hate me so much that you can't acknowledge my humanity? You can't tell me that every person who does that is afraid to say something. I mean, you know, white people are not the only ones who do that, but, you know, acknowledgement is the minimum. It was this guy. So I live in Chicago, living on the north side of Chicago. And it's a guy who walks down my block every day. Every day he walks down my block. And he walks at a slow and a steady pace. And I say hi every single day. Just to see what he's going to say. And this guy says nothing. Absolutely nothing. Doesn't acknowledge my presence. I'm coming out of my house. And he didn't say anything. One time my son was out playing, riding his scooter, as he and my daughter usually do. And my son got up right on his heels. You know, children, you know, he's 3, so he sees somebody, he goes after them. And so he got right on his heels. I'm like, Ezra, don't do that. You know, don't run into people. You know, try to go the opposite way. He gets right on the guy's heels and almost knocks him over. And the guy just kind of smiles and looks at him. So you're willing to acknowledge a child, a baby, when they almost touch your body, when they almost knock you over. But you're not willing to say hi when I talk to you. And the guy's a Middle Eastern guy. And I don't know if English is his first language, but he knows hi. I can guarantee you that. And so even in my neighborhood, it's funny. It's a black guy who lives, I didn't know where he lived. He lives across, now I know he lives across the street. And every time I can be in my car, I can be coming down the steps, I can be walking in the opposite direction. Every time I see him, I look up and he acknowledges me. He's always walking his dog. He says, and I look for that. I need that interaction. I I look for it. It means a lot. He knows the power of acknowledging someone. We as black men, at times, we have to move in spaces differently. Sometimes you just get that look before you get the look, right? And so, yeah, I need that. I look for that interaction. I look for that acknowledgement. And one time I took my children to the park recently, in Chicago, it's in March. It was summer, it was winter, it was it was fall, and it was spring, right? Got to the park, saw the brother at the park. We finally shook hands. He said, "Hey, my name is." I said, "Hey, my name is Nate." And so acknowledgement is powerful. It tells people that I see you. I see you. I acknowledge you. You're a person. You're a human being. You have worth. You have value. Our tribal chief, otherwise known as Roman Reigns, his whole premise is acknowledgement. Right? That's his tagline. That's his catchphrase. Acknowledge me. Now, he's saying that because he's the best. Some people say the best that ever was. He's the prodigy of his father and his uncle, the Wild Samoans, and he's in that Anoa'i Samoan bloodline, and he's the best of the best that ever came from them. And there, many great wrestlers have said that the Samoans are the best wrestlers they've ever seen. And so he takes all that and he says, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me because I'm the best. I'm not telling you to acknowledge the person that you see on the street because they're the best. But I'm telling you to acknowledge them because it's right. It's the minimum. How often do we acknowledge people who look different than us? How often do we acknowledge people who don't speak our language? How often do we acknowledge people when we walk into rooms? Now, it is chivalry. Somebody said chivalry is dead. We're trying to revive it, right? Some would say decorum is dead. We're trying to revive that too. That's why we're being critical of the culture, because these things are not normal to walk past someone and not say anything. Now, I have Southern values. I am not from the South, but I have family. My dad's from the South. My mom's from here in Chicago. But I have several, the South is home for me, put it that way. And so with my Mississippi values, and even in Mississippi, I remember when we went back home, as we often do, down the Three Rivers, Mississippi, and, more and more strangers are moving in where we're from. It used to be that we related to everyone because both of my dad's families, both sides of his families are down there. And so some people we're double related to. We had a whole bunch of yellow cousins that came from Alabama that married the chocolate cousins from Mississippi. And so now we're all mixed up in there, right? But less and less people wave to you now. It used to be you knew everyone in the neighborhood, in the community as we call it. It used to be that everyone would wave. Everyone would acknowledge your presence. But not so. We have to do better. I didn't say you have to be friends with your neighbor, but at least love them enough to acknowledge them. At least acknowledge them, their humanity enough to wave, to say hi. That's big. Show people that they matter. Even with the tagline Black Lives Matter, which is completely different from the organization Black Lives Matter, people had a problem with acknowledging that Black Lives Matter. We didn't say that. No, they said, no. All lives matter. That goes without saying. But the black lives are the ones that have been in jeopardy. The black lives are the ones that have been attacked. The black lives are the ones who go unacknowledged and oppressed and marginalized and terrorized for years on end. So if you have a problem with the phrase, I didn't say the organization, the phrase Black Lives Matter, you need to check your heart. I heard somebody say recently he had a problem with the term Black Lives Matter. And the person said, if you adopted 4 daughters of 4 different races, and your black daughter came and said, Daddy, do you love me? Would you respond, I love all my daughters? No. Do you love me? Do you acknowledge me? Do you care for me? See how strange that is? We didn't say that black lives were better. We didn't say black lives are more valuable. We just simply said they matter. I forget which it was Michael Che from Saturday Night Live said that. Just matter. Nothing else. Matter? You have a problem with somebody mattering? You have a problem with somebody who just wants to be acknowledged? Something is wrong with you. I remember I was watching the Super Bowl, right? The halftime show, and Kendrick Lamar said, "They're not like us," right? That's his song. You know, it was controversy with Drake and A Minor and all that type of stuff, right? But I watched a white preacher, a white Southern evangelical preacher on social media. I don't know his name. He said, forget that Kendrick Lamar. I don't know one song he was singing. Forget him. So you have to forget him and take away his humanity and take away acknowledgement that this man is an artist just because you don't know him? Just because you don't mesh with him? I don't know the name of one Bruce Springsteen song, but I don't say, forget that Bruce Springsteen. You see how hate works? You see how disregard works? You see how bigotry works? You see how prejudice works? You see how racism works? Acknowledgement is the minimum. Just because you don't understand someone or don't understand something doesn't mean you have to throw it away into a bucket of deplorables. I'm just saying. Until next time. I'll see you.